It's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and it's sales day. I love sales day because it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what other reviewers say. It's what the consumers say. That's what I love about it. What are consumers really buying? And let's talk about those numbers. And let's get rid of some of this doom and gloom out there in the marketplace right now, especially on YouTube. I see a lot of doom and gloom. Industry's collapsing. Interest rates are high. No supply. Ford's going bankrupt. GM's going bankrupt. It's like, guys, time out. Industry is actually did pretty well. And sales results show that. Sales numbers are facts, and I love facts. And for those new to the channel, I'm going to tell you, I love facts, love deep diving stuff, and those returning viewers, buck your seatbelts, man. I wrote probably 4,000 words today, different articles, I have stories, I have videos coming out tomorrow morning. You're going to watch a lot of stuff. So just sit back, relax, pop a top, get some popcorn, whatever you need to do. But I'm telling you, we got a lot of stuff coming through the pipeline. Let's get the sales numbers. I haven't done this for a couple of years because of all the shortages and supply chains. It's not really fair to do numbers. And then I thought, you know what? It's finally kind of settled out. And we are all on the same playing field. You can't go and say Ford doesn't have the parts. That's what the issues. GM doesn't have the parts. Whatever. No. They're all on the same playing field. Everybody doesn't have the parts. Everybody doesn't have enough labor. It's all the same. And I'm just done with the garbage of not having enough and excuses. No more excuses. These are the numbers. This is what you're deciding to buy. So let's go ahead and go to the story. It's on pickuptrucktalk.com. It just published. Go and check it out over there. And the title was the 2023 quarter one sales. And I'll do quarter two, quarter three, quarter four, because I think this stuff's interesting. Ford GM battle for truck supremacy. Yeah, that's happened for a few years. It's gotten even tighter as things move forward. And the Honda Ridgeline is the big winner. Now, who saw that coming? Put your comments down below, because I got a $50 bill that says you did not see that coming. Because I didn't see that coming. And I covered this industry quite a bit. And I'm telling you, nothing wrong with Honda Ridgeline. There's nothing wrong with it. I just was surprised that it had such a big boom in sales because there's nothing really new with it. And usually new, different, changing, that stuff sells, except for one truck brand I'll get into because it's very interesting stuff. So let's go and scroll down the story because I did. Voila, a chart. Oh, charts are amazing. I love charts. Okay, so we have the 2023 quarter one sales. Here's the sales charts, and I have all this commentary. So we're going to read all this stuff, and there's all this commentary. But anyways, let's go back to sales chart. And the benefit of doing a video is I can tell you the commentary because, well, I wrote it. That's how I can tell you. All right, let's start with the top. Ford F-Series sold 170,331 trucks in the first quarter. Last year, they only sold 140,000, so they dominated last year. And keep that in mind. All these people that talk about, hey, it's not apples to apples. 2022 is not the same as 2023 and 2021, whatever. These numbers are so interesting. So just before you fire out the comment, sit back, just take a break, time out, take a break. So Ford F-Series includes F-150, F-250, F-350, F-450. I'll get into the reason why that happens in a little bit. We are up 21.1%, so year over year, a big increase. We know the Ford F-Series, the Super Duty is starting to hit the dealer lots soon. Actually, right now, they're starting to hit dealer lots. New Ford M50s coming out later on this year. So expect these numbers to keep growing as the year goes on. That's what my point of view on this. Pretty impressive stuff. General Motors, Chevrolet, and Sierra, what they've done is they split this stuff up into light duty and heavy duty. And my Silverado doesn't fit. The chart doesn't work quite the way I want to. But what I did was I added the light duty and heavy duty together to get a total number, because that's important to me. And I'll talk in a minute about why I don't include GMC in this as well. But they were up 4.2%, and the Silverado was up 7.5%. Remember, the Silverado was refreshed in 2022, and it's really hitting dealer lots now, really getting out there. So, and that's what I have in the driveway is the 23 model year. But so we have some changes with the refreshment. 23, 22. The numbers are going in my head. So there's new Silverado light duty. They're getting lots of attention, especially the 3-liter Duramax diesel. Telling people about it, people arguing about it, but I'm telling you, that thing is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Heavy duties were down 2.4%. New heavy duties in the marketplace right about now. Yeah, now on the watch. Starting to hit the dealerships, so they're starting to be shipped. So expect that sales number to go up. Everything typically in the industry, whenever you have a new model coming out, the prior generation sees a nosedive in sales. That's why the information is always embargoed and they don't let it out very often because they want to sell the remaining inventory before the new model comes in. So those are numbers there. Year to date, guess what? It matches because quarter one, there's nothing really to talk about there. Ram truck was down 17%, 105,000 units sold. And I think this really talks about the fact that the Ram 1500 now, well, it's actually the oldest truck out there as far as I can remember. As far as it's not been refreshed in a couple of years, they've done some small changes to it. And it's still a great looking truck. Don't get me wrong, it's still a great looking truck, but they really haven't done a wow factor. When they did the 2019 model year, they wowed everybody. And now it's 2023. It's been 4 years later. And we're kind of twiddling our thumbs with Ram here. It's like, come on, guys, get some excitement going on. They seem like they're spending a lot of time on the Ram Revolution stuff, their EV kind of platform. And it looks like the ICE vehicles are seeing a hit there, which is to be expected. GMC Sierra was up 18.6%. Again, the top number there was, you guessed it, light duty. Light duty really saw an increase, and that's, I mean, my goodness, they have the Denali Ultimate now. They have Denalis going out. I mean, the truck looks night and day difference. If you sat in the 2020 GMC Sierra versus today's 2023 GMC Sierra, it's a completely different truck. It's a completely different ownership experience. It's quite crazy how differences are. The heavy duties were up 5.1%. And really, what's interesting about GMC is that most consumers go to GMC to buy Denalis. And so their average transaction rate keeps climbing, which means people are spending more money for a truck for GMC than most other brands. And they're buying at full retail. And, even with the adjusted dealer markup, that's a plague in the industry, they're still selling a lot of trucks at a higher marketplace. If I'm a dealer, I'll get as many GMCs as I possibly can. Number 4 on our list, the Toyota Tundra was up 22.1%. And that sounds great, but I'm going to get to more details here in analysis. What's interesting with the Tundra, and maybe I'll get those numbers down below, is that it used to share a facility in San Antonio with Tacoma. And Tacoma always had a little more build because it's much better in sales. And now it's on its own. And it's them, and it's the Tundra and Sequoia in the facility. And so that they're looking at probably building 100,000 units this year if you do 27,000 times 4, right? But what's interesting is when I went back and looked at the numbers, and I'll pull it up down here, is that interesting sales results. The fact is the Tundra's always been production limited with the Tacoma. Now the Tacoma is being built exclusively in Mexico, so there's no sharing of facility time anymore. Looking back at 2019 Q1 sales before the world went crazy, Toyota sold 25,100 Tundra trucks. A new plant, a new truck, and Toyota just managed just about 2,000 more trucks sold. That's interesting. That's very interesting. That is a chin rub interesting. So they sold 25,000 before the world changed, before the new truck came out, when they're sharing plant facility. And now they just sold 27,000. So they managed 2,000 more units. I don't think that's very good. I expected the Tundra to sell 150,000, maybe 200,000 units a year. And I think that's what Toyota was expecting, because the Sequoia, that plant has 200,000 vehicles supply as far as how many it can build. And there's no way a Sequoia is going to build 100,000 units, because even the Yukon doesn't quite. I mean, Yukon doesn't meet those numbers. Tahoe probably does. And that's a lot to ask. And so very interesting. I hope that Toyota can turn it around. I hope they can get more inventory of parts. Maybe that's an issue there too. The supply limited everybody else is. But that's not so great. Speaking of not so great, Nissan Titan, keeps dogging down, 37% down, and really that comes down to the fact that Nissan Titan has been refreshed in 2020. There's nothing really outstanding about the truck. It's a solid truck. Don't haters, hold on. It's a solid truck, but they're sharing a plant with multiple other vehicles. They have constraints with production, and they have a truck. The Titan doesn't do anything that much better than the other full-size trucks, and that's the problem. They don't have an angle. They don't have the niche that really sets them apart, and so that could just go down. Plus, Canada now doesn't sell the Titan anymore either. It wasn't a big deal. It doesn't know huge loss in numbers, but still, 4,000 units. I'll point out that 4,000 units a little bit more in detail. So, mid-size trucks, we had the Toyota Tacoma was kind of flat, which is to me a huge win, because we all know Tacoma's coming out. Hell, I ran 2 stories today and 2 videos today on the teaser for the new Tacoma. We know it's going to come out, and to hold steady, that's an amazing win for Toyota, and I'm really impressed with that. I mean, that really speaks to how well they're doing as far as the Tacoma, and so I'm really impressed with that. The Frontier was down 24.5%. That's a huge problem. The Frontier was new. It's a newer model. They have new interior. I'm seeing it all over the place around town, exterior and interior. It's got naturally aspirated V6. And people will think, well, I'm not going to buy a turbo, Tim. I'm going to buy the natural aspirated engine. Well, here it is in the Frontier, and people aren't buying it. And here it is in the Gladiator, and people aren't buying it. Down 24%, down another 24% Jeep Gladiator. And the Gladiator, I don't know. There's nothing going on with that truck currently. And it's a shame because it's a cool looking truck. I saw a few of them here in town again. I mean, I like the way it looks. I like the way it styling wise. I mean, the capability is cool, but yeah, that's a big drop. And if you look at that Jeep Gladiator with the Ram drop overall, it's down 17%. Stellantis is not doing well at the moment with their ICE vehicles as far as truck goes. Chevy Colorado was down 38.9%. Again, big asterisk on that because new Colorado is coming out. And when people saw new Colorado coming out, they didn't buy the old generation, right? They want to wait for the new one. So that makes sense. Honda Ridgeline was up 40.6%. 40.6% for a vehicle that basically has a high performance division or whatever they call it, Honda Performance Division, HPD. That's the only change of 40%. And here's a shocking, hold on, sit down if you need to. Sit down. I'm going to deliver some news to you because the Honda Ridgeline sold 12,918 units trucks in the first quarter. And the full-size Nissan Titan, 4,038 units. And I know Honda Ridgeline fans are going to be mad at me. Let me tell you, a unibody midsize truck that sells 3 times the amount of a full-size V8 truck. Don't worry, I'll sit here. I know that jaw is still on the floor. Just give yourself a minute because, wow, that's not what the people online would say. And I know the comments are coming because I'm telling you, 3 times as much with a Honda Ridgeline unibody truck versus the full-size V8. Woo, that is starting a war. I could walk into a bar here in town and start a fist fight. The Ford Ranger was down 34.8%. And again, that makes sense. GMC Canyon down 18.6%. Again, that makes sense. New model coming out. We see that all the time. There's no big news there. I know people are going to poke fingers at things, but new Ford Ranger comes out. New GMC Canyon's coming out. Dealerships probably next month or so. EPA has been holding off some of the deliveries. So we'll see some numbers trickle back up because, they're only off by 1,000 units. And a new truck and a new AT4X and a new Denali trim. I mean, that thing's going to probably sell. It's going to rise up as the new truck comes out and probably settle back down. Compact truck, Ford Maverick was up 11.6%, which I find interesting. They sold 21,478 trucks, and that is almost double the amount of a Ford Ranger, right? But it's a really, really not even a drop in the bucket compared to the full-size Ford F-Series with 170,000 units. So Maverick continues to sell. There's been constraints. Ford opens the order books and says, "Oh no, wait, it's closed." That's what they do with that truck all the time because demand is so freaking high. And so 21,000 units. That proves to me that compact truck market is alive and well. And I think more players can get involved in that. Hyundai Santa Cruz was up 11%. That's the one Jill's driving the Rebel Rally. She's beat up in the desert. It's handled pretty well. It's more premium interior than the Maverick is. A little bit cooler exterior. I think the styling's a little better on the Santa Cruz. The more expensive, but again, it's kind of the right truck for the right person, and that continues to sell well. So let's talk about EV truck sales. Rivian, unfortunately, does not separate their numbers out from R1T, R1S, and the van. And so we have 7,146 units, and that was up 311%. I've been told the R1T is the big take rate for that. So I'd expect 70 to 80% of that number to be just R1T, the truck. And so people are buying the truck. What's interesting with Rivian is people are buying the truck at the same time. They're like needing more money to stay in business. So it's just a weird thing. Ford Lightning, 4,291 units. They had a stop sale. They had a stop production. They're up amazing percentage numbers because they didn't sell anything last year. What's interesting for Lightning is they're trying to ramp up to 150,000 units produced by the end of this year. And in quarter one, they have 4,291 units. I'm no math wizard, but 4,291 units divided into 150,000 for the rest of the year does not seem like that's a feasible goal. Wow. That would take a massive improvement in production and sales to get that to. Speaking of production and sales, the James Hummer had sold two trucks. So I was struck by that too. TFL Truck did a story on that, and then there's a quote that said basically that stop sale unit. They didn't start production until January 31. They were trying to get them out there. They haven't built. They just haven't been able to deliver them, and so there's things going on. But I mean, the Hummer gets so much press, and they sold 99 last year. They sold 2 so far in quarter 1, and I'm like, it's $100,000 to me questionable vehicle. I had it for a week, and people didn't want to drive it. They didn't want to ride with me in it. It's really interesting, that vehicle. So I want to go back to something I talked about with the Ford F3 or F450, because it always comes up. So the regular version of that truck is technically a 1-ton class 3, because it says GVWR from 10,001 pounds to 14,000 pounds. Okay, so if you look at the chassis cab, then you have a class 4 truck. So what Ford has done here is it inserted F450 sales in the F series. And it's interesting how, I said how it just says how competitive the segment is. So if you look at the numbers, Ford is actually adding to their sales by adding 4 F450s that are not chassis cab. But if you add the numbers together of the Chevy and GMC, even in my head, I'm not a great math guy, but 67 plus 123, I beat Ford. In my reporting on this, I report what the automaker puts out. I know other outlets do different things. They add things together, but GM separates their Chevy from GMC. That's how I report it. So there's your controversy. There's your debate. GM actually outsells Ford, but Ford out advertises GM as far as the best-selling F series. And the F series, I'm sorry, but F450 is, I don't think they sell that many units of it, probably 2,000-3,000 every quarter. But it just seems a little unfair. And I know that Ford's doing the math to get it in there to pump up the numbers even more, because Ford loves the claim of being 46 years straight, 47 years straight, whatever the deal is, best-selling truck in the United States. And I'm just surprised at the end of the day why GM doesn't say, hold on, let's talk more about that. Because it seems like, why would you let them get off with that marketing when you can just put numbers together, add 1 + 1 + 2, and there you go. He defeats Ford's claim. So competitive. Yeah, it's fantastic. All right, there you go. There's the sales numbers. I love doing this stuff because I think sales numbers, again, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what journalists say. It doesn't matter what the comments say. It doesn't matter any of that stuff. Sales are sales. Facts are facts. And those facts tell me that the industry is doing pretty well. They're still selling lots of trucks. And even though interest rates are high, even though supplies constrained, things like that, people are still buying trucks. And so I'm excited because I like people buying trucks. It's great. It's great for the business. It's great for my business. And I hope it's great for your business too, because it's a lot of fun driving trucks. I just love them to pieces. Yeah, I think I literally said that on camera. All right, there you go. All right, for more, check the videos over here as well. Also, pickuptrucktalk.com. Buddy, I was writing a ton of stuff today. You want to check that stuff out. We have a ton of stuff coming tomorrow. Like a ton, like really big details. Like, stick around for that. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.